Hello, everyone. Welcome to another round of Ray's Boom Boom Room. I'm your host, Ray Mancini, along here with my ace corner man, cut man, Mike Case. Mike, can you see Mike, or is he? Because he's hidden. Oh, you're there. Okay.
I'm this middle
okay, you're the camera number 2.
Okay.
I got you. All right, where am I at?
Yeah, right there.
I'm at the master. I'm looking at the master. Am I looking at this one over here? Okay, I'm pointing here. No one, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize if you saw the side of my head. I'm looking at the wrong camera. That's not good. That's not good. All right, that would probably help. Our next guest probably knows about camera angles. It'd probably help if you knew what camera you're looking at. Oh my God!
Listen to this guy we've got. Though.
Yeah.
Listen to this guest.
Pardon me?
Tell him about the guest.
I'm gonna give to the guest. I got to speak a.
Or do you want to talk fighting first?
Little bit. I got to talk.
Okay.
First of all, we ain't been back since the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't been back, which was a hell of a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And one of the best I've enjoyed in a long time. Great, great. You want to see a competitive game. It was a great game. Came down that fourth quarter, and then Mahomes took over, and everyone's gonna be knocking Shanahan because I didn't realize he was the offensive coordinator
For the Falcons.
when
I
they
was
fell
thinking that
apart.
the whole game.
So I said, "Oh, I did not know that." Play calling, but but I tell people, you call the play whether it's the right play or not. The team has to.
Yeah, you still have to play defense.
They have to play
Right?
defense, and they also have to execute. That's the word.
Absolutely.
Execute. If you execute, you make a couple of them catches, like in the Falcons. They caught the one ball, the game's over.
Yeah.
You don't catch the ball. Whose fault is that?
Garoppolo threw that one a little bit too far.
Little far.
Yep.
I mean, Jimmy G was on all year. Throws the one pass when they needed it. So, anyhow, I'm just saying, it was a great game. Anyhow. But our Youngstown 49ers did not come victorious.
No.
So it was a we all took it bad.
I'm curious if the Ursuline people root for the Mooney people, if they root for the 49ers.
I would hope so. It's a Youngstown team, which we'll go into that, talking about that. Our next guest is an Ursuline grad.
Right, we could ask
and we're going to get to him. But also, real fast though, this weekend, fight on Fox. Caleb Plant defending his super middleweight title out of Las Vegas. No, I'm sorry. In Nashville, his hometown of Nashville.
Okay.
First time he's fought in Nashville. Caleb's from Nashville, Tennessee. So there'll be the Saturday night on PBC on Fox. Caleb Plant will be defending his super middleweight title in Nashville. 2 weeks, on the 22nd, you got the big heavyweight pay-per-view between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. They fought once. It was a draw. They're coming back to do a rematch. Fury says he'll knock out Wilder within 2 rounds. He's 6'9", Wilder 6'7". Two of the biggest heavyweights fight. I think it's maybe the biggest heavyweights fight for
Tallest and
the tallest
biggest,
together combined,
Yeah.
fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. Great fight. It's a pay-per-view coming up, so you want to get that fight. You'll want to get that. All right, with no further ado, we're going to get to our next guest, our special guest today. Can't thank him enough. I called him last minute, but he was very kind enough to say, hey, I'll do it for you, Ray. I truly appreciate it. Our next guest, ladies and gentlemen, this is a treat, trust me. Our next guest, I like him even though he's an Ursuline grad. I got to like him. Our next guest was born and raised here in Youngstown, graduated from Ursuline in 1970, went to New Orleans, 1972 for Mardi Gras, and never came back. Never came back. He said, hey, he went down, and then from there, he went to Los Angeles. And there, he's been there for quite a few years. He'll tell us exactly when he got to L.A. And I got to ask him, because I always wondered how people get into the voice business.
Absolutely.
Our next actor is probably the foremost, the greatest voice actor of all time, as far as I know. I don't know of anybody who's
done more. Look at the resume.
Yeah. He's done the voices of Winnie the Pooh, Tasmanian Devil, Tigger,
Right.
Daffy Duck, Scar. And how about this? When they did Lion King, Jeremy Irons was doing the voice of Scar. Now, Jeremy Irons, that got that great. He's trained in the Royal Theatre of London. Shakespearean actor, got that great voice. He got, for whatever reason, couldn't finish, and our next guest took a guy from the north side of I believe it's north side of, maybe it's the west side, but he'll let us know, of Youngstown, finished doing it, and not only did he have to imitate Jeremy Irons doing the voice of Scar.
Doing a different imitation.
How about
right.
that?
Yeah.
Christopher Robin. He was the one. He played Christopher Robin. He played Geppetto. Well, how come I'm hearing myself? I'm hearing myself.
I hear it too.
I'm hearing myself.
From a previous episode, perhaps.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
All right.
Guys, I was okay.
Well, let's introduce him.
Now, well, I'm going to get to the
I'm worried.
credits.
Now I'm worried.
And, all right, and he did Geppetto and Pinocchio. Okay. With all those great accolades, great credits, no further ado, I'm going to introduce Youngstown's own, but Hollywood's, he's probably, again,
A staple.
the greatest character, voice actor that I know of. He'll let me know who else was a voice actor. I think Mel Blanc was one. Mel Blanc
that's a
did all
pretty
the
good
great
one.
voices.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's got the resume of Jim. Anyway, our next guest from Youngstown, Ohio, straight from out of California, straight from Hollywood, coming talking to me, the great Jim Cummings. Jim, can't thank you enough for being on.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, my pleasure. How's it going, guys? All right,
it's
Ray. Hello, Mike.
Jim,
Good.
how was that intro? Was that okay or a little long in the tooth? Was it okay?
That wasn't bad. That
All right.
wasn't bad. That was pretty darn good. And you know, it's funny. I can always tell when somebody's on a certain website or whatever because Geppetto. I don't know how they got that one on there because I never did Geppetto.
Oh, you didn't?
I think that was in the 1940s. A little before my time.
Just missed it. Just missed
You're
it.
right, because I read that. I said
You know,
Geppetto. He did Pinocchio. He did
Might as well
Pinocchio.
say I did Snow White too. You know what I mean? I didn't do that one either.
But I gotta ask you, you took over for Jeremy Irons. He's got one of the greatest voices of all time, and you had to imitate him doing Scar. That must have been a hell of a thing.
Oh yeah.
How long?
Well, it was fun. You know, it wasn't. It was the kind of stuff I did, you know, all day long for free in the shower anyway, right?
That's right. That was
know?
my question. How did you get started being a voice actor? Obviously, when did you realize you could imitate voices and do different voices? How were you when you realized you could do that? You had a gift to do that.
Well, you know, honestly, I got to tell you, you know, I was sitting around and I'd be in class, even like 4 years old, and I'd be doing dolphin noises. You know, and Sister Mary Agnes would say, "We don't have any dolphins here at the Immaculate Conception, Mr. Cummings." You know, of course they don't now either. But you know, I was watching the old Jack Benny program with my dad, and Mel Blanc.
Mel Blanc, that's right.
He was on there.
Well, he was the greatest voice actor I knew before that.
Yeah.
Because he did all the big voices.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
oh yeah. Well, he was. Well, he was kind of like the Elvis of or the Frank Sinatra of voiceover guys.
Well,
the
Bugs
cartoon
Bunny.
guys.
Bugs Bunny
And
was.
my dad tells me, yeah, my dad says, he says, "You see this guy right here?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "He's the one that does all those cartoon voices that you hear on Saturday morning, Daffy Duck and you know, Bugs Bunny and Sylvester and this and that." And I thought, well, heck, he's not getting in trouble for being obnoxious.
Right.
You know,
right.
I'm going to go that way. I'm going to do it that way instead, right?
But
You know, I started channeling it, and I was in a million different plays, like at the Youngstown
Playhouse.
Playhouse.
Right. Which
right
is a
over
great
on
playhouse.
Glenwood.
Great
And,
regional playhouse.
The oldest continuous
Yeah,
playhouse.
yeah. And it was a lot of fun, you know. And I, when I was a kid, it was fun. It was a good way to meet kids from all around, and there were a lot of girls there, so that was good.
That helped.
And
that helped.
You know, it definitely helped. And you know, I think I was doing research for what I was going to do as an adult, because I would always, instead, I didn't want to be the little prince or the little boy. I wanted to be the wizard or the weasel or the troll under the bridge or something. You know, it was more fun. And I think I was accidentally doing research for what I was going to do as an adult, and then I was always in a band, you know, because I played drums. I joke around. I said I joke around with people. I said, well, I've been a professional musician since I was 13 years old, because me and three of my buddies got $10 each to play at Our Lady of Mount Carmel's spring social, you know, down by Smoky Hollow.
Right.
And and hey, you get $10, you're a pro.
Well, it's funny you said
Right?
it, Jim. I got $10 at Immaculate, not Immaculate Conception. I got $10 Mount Carmel also, because my mom's friend when they had the big banquets, she was the caterer. So I used to get
yeah.
for washing dishes. So we started in the same joint.
And the
Oh, that's crazy.
I bet the
Oh,
food
that's
the
great.
food might have been
That
worth
is
it by
great.
itself, huh?
Yeah, the food was terrific. The food was terrific. But anyhow, but good. But so you guys played. You had a band. You played music. Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
did
Yep.
you do the voice? You didn't do like in between sets. Do voices when you were doing that? Did you?
No, no, heck no. No, I just, you know, I was too busy trying to imitate the Temptations or
Right.
Brian the Family Stone or Stevie Wonder, you know.
Right.
I mean, we knew like 8 songs and we played them 3 times each and called it good. and then I went on. Then I was in a lot of different other bands in Youngstown. I was in the first black and white band, the first interracial band,
What
called
was?
the Fantastic Perels, and I was the white kid.
Were you the only white guy?
Yeah, in that
Yeah.
band.
You're
I
the-
had a couple bands like that.
Yeah, you were the only white guy.
was,
So they nicknamed you Spot.
I was the only white guy.
Did they nickname you
Yeah,
Spot?
Did you and you were
It was
playing
Spotlight, exactly.
you were playing the drums at the time?
Yeah, playing drums and singing. Yep. And then, you know, when my buddy Bill Pfeiffer, God rest his soul, he got out of the Army. He was 18. I just turned 18, and he says, "Well, I've always wanted to go to Mardi Gras." And I said, "Me too." And he says, "Well, I'm going down. I'm bumming a ride with my buddy Frank." And I said, "Oh, well, hell, I'll go." So I got my knapsack, you know, those one of those orange things that a lot of
Right.
kids had back then. And I had $125 because I was just laid off from sheet and tube. So I knew I had some time on my hands. So I went to Mardi Gras, and I liked it so much I just never came back. I got a job as a deckhand on a riverboat, and you could eat like right away that day. Because at the time I was working, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the time I was working at the Coke Works over by Struthers off Wilson Avenue,
Right.
and it was about 10, it was like 10 below. It's 3:00 in the morning. I'm walking down, and I got snow up to my thighs, and it was as if the Lord went, "What the hell do you want me to do? Get out of here!" You know. So I said, "Okay." So I moved to New Orleans, and I liked the weather, so I stayed.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, I got in a band down there, and I sang, and we were actually pretty good. I made a pretty good living. I just was singing at that time, and then I ended up painting Mardi Gras floats for a few years, and you know, just a little bit of everything. I sold pool cues door to door. It was crazy.
Big-
I was a
big
drummer in
market?
a strip joint on Bourbon Street.
That's the way.
Oh man.
That's the way.
There you go. And then I moved to California and, you know, got married, had some kids, and started my career here. And I was very fortunate. I got my first audition, and I nailed the job. It was for Dumbo Circus for Disney in 1985. And I got the first job I auditioned for. So, you know, I always joke around. I went right from working full-time in the real world to the voice acting world, and I never got to be a waiter. So, you know.
And you got to be in the circus all at once.
Yeah.
Could you?
I never got to park anybody's cars,
Could you
but
imitate?
that's okay. I'll take it.
Can you imitate musical instruments too, or just cartoon characters and noises and things?
Well, you know, I mean, I always, unless you're talking about like,
You know, like some
You
people
know,
do
let's see.
like the beatbox stuff, or right.
yeah, you know, I used to do that with my cheeks, and it sounds like a wah-wah guitar.
Yeah, well, that's
I'll
what I'm
talk
saying.
about
It
that.
sounds like the opening of Shaft. I was just gonna say, sounds like the opening of Shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Right.
Oh man.
That's fun.
But that's about it.
But Jim, like, when did you realize that you had this gift? As a kid or as you got older? I mean, because again, you can't. It's a gift, and everyone had to tell people you can't. It's like being a fighter. You either could fight or you can't.
Yeah.
You either got the
Yeah,
ability
yeah,
or you
yeah.
don't. And at
I
some
agree.
point, being a voice actor, that is the hardest thing. I'm the worst. And my kids tell me, Pop, I'm the worst. I can't do accents. I try. Well, I could do a Spanish accent if I could. I can't even do an Italian accent. And I don't even. You know, people say.
Oh, no, wait
you
a
know,
minute.
But I'm just
No,
saying.
you're breaking my heart. You can't do an Italian
I
accent.
can't do an accent because
Oh, that's terrible.
The worst thing, Jim, you know better than me, right? Is when you try to when you try to do New York accent. Even New Yorkers, when they try to do New York accent, yo, you don't forget about it. Like, yo, man, just speak, man. Just speak.
That
Don't have
sounds
to,
pretty good.
don't-
That's not
don't-
bad. I
don't-
thought I
yeah.
was talking to Robert De Niro for a second.
Yeah, but don't try to just speak. You don't have to do more than what I'm asking, you know. But I'm the worst. But some people have the gifts where they can just do so many accents and voices and I mean, like you said, I'm saying, but there's people could do it well, like English accent or an Australian accent, and I go, man, how do they do it? Because I can't do none of that stuff. But it come as a gift because you must have known it as a young child, growing up, that you had this gift, right?
Oh yeah, I did. It was, I used to say I make a living doing the stuff that used to get me kicked out of class because you're the class cut up and you're always cutting jokes and everything. It was. The nuns weren't too crazy about that, but it worked out. They loved me much years afterward when I, contributed to scholarship funds. It wasn't so, all of a sudden it was a good idea then. It was.
How did you know?
You know how that goes.
How'd you know Dumbo was hiring? I mean, who got the word to you to go try for that?
Well, it's a thing where I gave it to a customer in my video store, and he knew a guy who knew a guy, and he passed along my tape, and they called me up from Don Blues Studios, and he says, well, I got your tape here, and you don't stink, you're pretty good, but I'm not casting for anything, so I'll hold on to it. And oh boy, I got on my foot massager now. If it makes my voice shake, let me know.
Oh my God.
But he passed it along, and the guy called me up, Frank Brandt, God bless him, and he said, hey, I got this tape here. You want to come up and audition for a job? And I said, sure. So I went up on Thursday. It was my day off, and he hired me on the spot.
And for what part?
And it was for the part of Lionel the Lion on Dumbo's Circus, and this is in the late 80s when cable TV was just starting up. And Disney would just started the Disney Channel, and they're doing pretty good now, from what I hear.
Yeah. So do you, when you audition for something, Tigger has been around forever. Do you try to make it sound like Tigger, or do you do your own take on what you think it should be, what should sound like?
Well, Paul Winchell, my friend, God rest his soul, he was the original, and I knew him for years because I was doing Winnie the Pooh, and Sterling Holloway, he too has passed on. And so the idea is you have to get it familiar so that it sounds like as much like the original as possible, because that way the people get it.
Right.
That way everybody, they know what's happening. I got a little cold right now, but Winnie the Pooh is a very sort of a light voice, and it sounds like the wind is blowing through the cattails to me. And then Tigger is over there, and he's real posy and a little bit spitty, but don't mess with a Tigger. So you just get it in your head. You get it in your head, and then you're kind of good to go.
That's funny.
Jim, when we did the documentary about Youngstown Still Standing, you were wonderful, and I'll never forget your line. It was funny as hell, but it's true. You worked in the Coke plant in the steel mill. The Coke plant people, ladies and gentlemen, and you said you're with the long johns, you got all the big heavy stuff on, and it's like you said it's like a balmy $1.20 in there or something there, and I'm laughing, and you realize that I tell people, you want to know what you want to do something you don't want to do. That'll help you realize what you do want to do real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's a line, and I wish I could. It's a good one for you, Ray, because it was a guy from Canada who said, and I wish I could remember who it was. He says, well, I always wanted to be a boxer, and I was from Quebec, and so I went down to the States, and I always wanted to be a boxer. Until I ran into a guy who really wanted to be a boxer.
Right.
And then I didn't want to be a boxer anymore.
That's a great line. I've heard that before. It's a great line, but it's true. I tell people, when I love when guys say, my kids, he wants to try being a boxer. I said, no, you don't try. Boxing picks you. And my kid's thinking about being no, you don't think about it. Tell them to go to school. Think there. It's just something, it's just something you do because you don't. It picks you. You don't pick it. Certain things pick you. And then, like I said, like an animal, like a puppy. Puppies pick you. You don't pick the puppy. It's kind of like an occupation. Boxing picks you, man. And so I think I'm assuming voice acting is similar in the sense you do it and you go, I got this gift. I got to use this gift.
Yeah. Oh, it's true. Well, another line I always remembered is that, and I remember thinking this myself, but somebody put it better. He goes, "Look, you could play golf, you could play tennis, you could play football, but you box.
Yeah, you don't play
You
boxing.
don't play boxing.
That's right.
You don't play boxing."
That's it. That's it.
Did you ever try to be an actor in front of the camera too, or was it always voice stuff when you were in Hollywood?
I have here and there, and I've had one or two gigs, but it has less appeal. In fact, I did a Married with Children with Eddie O'Neill a million years ago, but even that was a voiceover, and it was perfectly indicative of what you just sit around all day.
Right.
And you are in your trailer or in your dressing room and you're bored. You better bring a book. I remember
That's right.
the first thing I ever did was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And I had like 4 lines total. And it took like 8 hours. And we were in the middle of the night. And then they didn't even use the scene. So I started doing well in voiceover. And I thought, and I've got a lot of famous friends. And they go, listen, if you could cut the mustard, just use their voice, do it. Because otherwise it's a pain in the butt. I mean, potentially if you make it big time, then you get better money, that's for sure. I mean, we're not worried about Eddie O'Neill at this point.
Right.
I can tell you that.
No, but you're right. But you're right. But you could. Eddie even said, Jim, when Eddie did the voiceover for the animated movie, but the fish.
Yeah.
What's the fish?
Yeah. Oh, Dora and
Dora. Right. That. Eddie played as he said it's the best. You go there in your pajamas. You go in there, with your hair. You go. Don't even got to brush your teeth. You just go and you talk. That's act. I mean, that's hell of a thing.
Is that is that considered acting? Like sometimes when those people get Oscars, I get upset because the people that are actually acting,
but
it feels like they shouldn't get the same awards.
It is acting because when you see, it's different. Different categories.
Well, if you can't act, you don't work.
But it is acting because you're creating. You're making that animated come to life, and you're making it come to life, and it's speaking your words. So it's acting.
I guess.
It is acting.
Hey,
Jim, I was just the line.
Believe me, if you're just going in there and reading, you ain't getting the job.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's acting. You got to act.
Have you? I'll just throw out like Billy Joel, who's been around forever. Has your voice changed throughout the years? Has it gotten deeper or different where you've had to adjust since you've been doing it so long?
Well, just a little. I mean, my voice got, it's got a different, deeper quality to it, but everything is still there and nothing's changed. I mean, I was the terror, Darkwing Duck, and he's still right there. And Winnie the Pooh, I mean, I've been doing that as long as I've been doing anything. It was since 1987, and Christopher Robin came out last year, and I was Winnie the Pooh, and I was Tigger too, and everybody's like, "Yep, that's our boy." God bless him. But no, I mean the voice is the last thing to go. And I don't drink whiskey, and I never smoked a cigarette in my life.
Well, so, that helps. That helps. Yeah.
Although some would say it's the opposite. Some would say the people that smoke have better voices than the people that don't.
Well, they get them raspy voices.
Deeper voices.
I don't know,
but not for what you do, I guess.
That's just raspy.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, speaking of The Lion King, I don't think I'm telling too much out of school when I say that Tim Rice, the lyricist, he brought me in to do the song. Basically, Jeremy Irons does all the talking.
Right.
With powers of retention. But every time you hear the word "be prepared," that's me.
Oh.
And he said, he goes, he's a great actor. He's this and that. He goes, but you can hear every Marlboro the man ever smoked.
That's what I'm saying.
And it wasn't a compliment.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It wasn't like like Tom Waits has got that whiskey and cigarettes voice.
Right.
Sounds like something's backed up. But he will not be singing any Joe Pizzullo songs. That's for sure.
Well, we were talking about that. We were talking about it earlier. Me and Mike were talking. Mike's from Akron area, and we talked about the Youngstown, the school, the high school you went to. Ursuline High School, which is our rival. I went to Cardinal Mooney, the two parochial schools. Our rival was Ursuline. But you guys were first. But if you had a Mount Rushmore of Ursuline alumni, the 4 I could think of is Ed O'Neill, you, Carmen Policy.
Yeah.
Carmen, president of
Oh,
the Ford,
yeah.
And Joey Pizzullo. Used to be I said,
And that
who would
fourth
be number
one's up
4?
for
I said, who would be
debate.
number 4? He said,
There
Joe
you go.
Pizzullo. He said, and even Mike said, who's Joe Pizzullo?
Uh-huh.
Joe was a wonderful, he is a wonderful singer. He's made a lot of big bands. He sang for Sergio Mendes, and he was the voice of the big hit.
Oh, yeah.
What was the name of the song with Sergio Mendes?
Never gonna
let you go.
Yeah.
Never gonna let you go.
We can't do much better than that.
Joey was the singer of that. And he gigs, he sings,
Oh,
he
yeah.
made a hell of a living, man. One of the great. So that would be
Oh,
the Mount
yeah.
Rushmore. I don't know who else would be the Mount Rushmore of Urson High School, but you guys
Yeah,
did pretty
yeah.
damn good for
Well,
yourself.
you got Mooney down. You've got Mooney locked up. That's
Well,
for
I
sure.
don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm on. I mean, there's been a lot of good Mooney alumni. The Barlow family,
Right.
The Stoops,
Yeah.
the Stoops brothers. So the
That's
Pelini
true.
brothers.
That's
so
true.
we've, I don't know. Maybe I'd be on there, one of the 4.
Only one
because
world
you can only
champ,
pick
man.
4. Mount Rushmore can't be 10. It can only be 4. That's
right.
it. So that I always said I don't know where Marine
McGovern?
Marine wasn't
McGovern? Yeah,
Marie
yeah, yeah.
McGovern. I keep screwing up that
That's
name.
okay.
Where she went, she sang the song that was the title song for the Poseidon Adventure, the
Sure.
original 1971.
The morning after.
Morning After, yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Have you
And there was
ever?
a girl.
Oh, go ahead, Jim.
There was a girl, Elizabeth Hartman.
Oh yeah,
Elizabeth
she was
Hartman.
she
was in
was
a
a
couple
hell of an
movies.
actress. Hell of an actress. She's an
I don't know what happened to her.
but she was an Urson alumni too. Oh, she.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I think she went to Rayan.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Elizabeth Hartman, wasn't she on that soap opera at night?
Like a dynasty type thing?
Yeah,
That
no,
one?
no,
I
it was a
don't know.
comedy. It was
I
a
don't
comedy.
know.
It was
Oh.
a comedy.
She
It was
might
a-
have been.
Yeah, one of the first.
But I know she was in a movie with Sidney Poitier
Oh, no kidding.
Well, there you go.
a long time ago.
But people.
I mean, this is like when I was a kid, so
Yeah.
I don't.
Have you ever, Jim, had to do a female voice? And is that?
No.
I mean, could you?
No,
you
I'm
think?
not that good. I'm not. But I ended up doing a Janis Joplin for an Animaniacs once because Tress McNeil, my friend, was feeling under the weather, and it was you remember the Animaniacs cartoon show that was
Yeah.
out in the 90s?
Uh-huh.
It's back, by the way.
It is.
Well, they would do They would do parodies, and this one was of Woodstock, the Woodstock Festival.
Right.
And they woke up the Slappy Squirrel, and she wakes up in the morning and she's stuck in the middle of Woodstock. And I was the fake Joe Cocker. I was the fake Roger Daltrey from the Who.
Oh, Joe Cocker,
And,
man, he was
Tress
bad. That'd be
Tress
great.
McNeil was sick, so she said, "Just have Jimmy do it." So it was, "Oh, baby," and that was my Janis Joplin.
Who's
That
gonna
was
do
it.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna sound
No.
sound like her to me.
It's coming
sound
along.
like her to me.
It's really coming along.
That's not too bad, right?
No.
That's not too bad.
Oh, it's
Oh,
pretty
that's
good.
funny.
She's busted flat in Baton Rouge.
How'd you, Joe Cocker? Joe Cocker, man. I never heard him speak. Only heard him sing. One of my favorite singers. Everyone knows how he did the rock, and back. Belushi did him better than
Oh,
anybody.
yeah.
But I never heard him speak.
He was on Letterman one
Yeah.
time.
Did you ever
one
hear him
time.
speak? I mean, I never heard Cocker speak.
Yeah. He didn't talk very well. Everything was on the. Well, I was shooting at a Norton table. That was Joe Cocker talking.
Oh man.
Do you? And when you do, have you ever done songs like in the cartoons or anything like that, or you just
Where
pretty
you
much
gotta
stick
sing?
to
All the time.
sentences? Oh, you do. Do you like that? It
Oh,
seems
all
like
the
with your
time, yeah.
band
Oh, God, yeah.
background, you would like
Oh
that.
yeah. I was the lead singer for the California Raisins.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's-
They heard it through the grapevine.
So, yeah, oh yeah, I've sung that song 1,000 times. And I sang in the movie Hercules, the movie Anastasia. All over the Lion King, any Winnie the Pooh movie, whenever they sang, that was me or Tigger.
Yeah, man.
And I did a couple songs for Ed Asner in a
no.
Christmas special once. A lot of actors don't sing and a lot of singers don't act.
That's
and
right.
Since I can't do either one, they let me do both.
There you go. That's Holly weird.
There you
That's
go.
Holly weird. Yeah,
What do
no,
you do to keep your voice? I mean, do you do like a lemon tea thing or honey or anything like that? Do you do
Well-
anything for your voice?
Well, of course, I always have some honey. But Pooh has to have his honey. But no, it's like I say, I don't. Whenever I go to I could go to a boxing match, I go to a concert, I go to a football game. I'm not the guy screaming his head off and can't talk at the end of it.
Right.
I'll whistle, I'll clap, I'll shake something that makes noise, but I'm not the shrieker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an instrument. You know. You
It
don't.
is.
You know.
And I've done it.
You know. Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you're a guitar player, you're not going to operate any heavy machinery in case, right?
That's right.
Don't go near any buzz saws.
You know,
But yeah, you know, so you get the idea. But you just take care of yourself.
well, it's funny.
You know, sleep is your friend. A lot of water.
Oh yes.
And just regular
yes.
maintenance. Regular maintenance.
Well, like you said, that's a good way of putting it, Jim. You got to take care of the body. The body's an instrument, like I thought, like a car. You take care of the car, put the right gas in. I'm one of these guys.
Absolutely.
I'm one of these guys who do scream, not at a restaurant, high. If it's you're in a nightclub or a bar, it's got a lot of noise. I'm talking above it, and then I'm go home, my throat is killing
The next 3 days are awful.
Oh man, I'm one of these stupid guys who do that. You know what I mean? And
have you ever had a gig that you almost didn't get or had to bug out of because you were sick or you couldn't do your best?
Voice?
Well, you know, once in a blue moon, I would still go in when I had a cold, and I regretted it because the thing about what I do, these animated things. For example, Disney Plus just came out, and I think everything I ever did for Disney is on there.
Right.
And it lasts forever. And if you had a cold that day, you say to yourself, well, I got to tough it up. You know, it's that blue-collar attitude. I always say I had a blue-collar attitude toward a no-collar career. But I would go, and I would try to tough it out. And occasionally, once in a blue moon, you know, I'll hear something that, oh, God, I had a cold that day. I should have stayed home and did it like 2 or 3 days later. It would have been the same, you know, but I wouldn't have had that. You know, you sound like you're in a coffee. You got a coffee can over your head or something.
Right.
Yeah. Now, Jim.
You regret it, and it lasts forever.
Now, voiceover actors get residuals, right? You get for your work.
Oh, same thing. Oh yeah. Yeah. We get
forget about
lots of residuals.
Forget about
No,
it.
that's my
Forget
question.
About it. I mean, I figured you did. I mean, that was a dumb question because I figured you did.
When Disney Plus comes out, does that help?
Forget about. Does it help?
I mean, does that?
But it help. Jim's grandchildren will be living off that residual.
Is that true, Jim? I mean,
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still getting stuff from the '80s.
I am too, Jim.
You know,
when I first went out there in '85, I did a few things, and unfortunately, it's down to like 17 cents, 11 cents, and that's no joke.
Yeah.
It cost them more to send it to me. I just got one the other day.
Listen.
I got one not long ago for 1 cent, 1 penny. I said, "Yo,
me too.
Just keep it."
I put it on Twitter.
Was it a
I
check?
did. I put it on my Twitter.
You saw a check and it had 0.01 on it.
$0 and 1 penny.
1 penny. Yeah.
Because
Who was that from?
Yeah, and it cost them $5 to send it to you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, who was that from, Jim?
Yeah.
It was from Universal, I think. But they all do it.
They all do.
If
Right.
it's time to pay you. You know, it doesn't matter. It's time to pay. They pay whether it's a lot of money or no money.
That's it.
I've got 10 checks for $0 and 0 cents because it was time to pay me, but they didn't owe me any money. But they paid me anyway.
Right.
They paid me $0 and 0 cents.
Crazy.
And I've had hundreds of checks for a penny.
Yeah.
Is there
And this is supposed to be the green guys, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is there a role you wanted to get that you didn't get that you wish you would have gotten, like a big one?
No, I honestly think I've gotten every role that I've ever really been on fire to get.
Really?
I've knocked out. Realistically speaking, I always joke around. I said, well, I did want to be Marge Simpson, but that didn't work out.
That would have been the female.
But,
That's what I mean.
Hey, how about
I'm
that?
kidding.
Hey, Jim,
But I'm kidding, of course.
No, of course. But how about if you could have been on that show? Forget about it.
Or even the sisters.
Oh, yeah.
Or Simpson.
Yeah, I was actually on the show once. I mean, I know them all. They're all
No,
buddies of mine.
of course.
But
forget it.
I was Rex the Wonder Horse, or something.
Oh, good for you.
The residuals from that, Jesus, man.
So when you do you do a scene for a movie, let's say you're doing a scene for a movie, are you in there with all the other voices at the same time playing off each other, or do you just do your part and get the hell out?
And they edit it.
Yeah, not very often. You usually do it solo. I mean, I like it when everybody's there, but with movies, it's almost never that way. Regular shows like I do Hondo Onaka, Star Wars Clone Wars or Rebels.
Uh-huh.
Pardon me. Those are ensemble casts. I like that because you get the feedback. You get the energy in the room.
Right.
And but when you're flying solo, when you're doing a movie, it's always you alone. So it's kind of weird. I mean, I'm used to it, obviously, and it works. So you can't really question it too much. But I definitely like it when everybody's there. For the feel, it's like putting on a play or a show.
Uh-huh.
Now let me ask you
It
this.
feels better.
This is a dumb question, and I don't know if it'll come off right. but you've done all the voices you've done. Is there ever a voice you heard and said, "Oh, I would like to try that," and realize you couldn't quite get it? That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Out of your range, maybe.
I think so, but so far so good. You know,
Yeah,
I'm sitting pretty.
I mean,
it almost would amount to envy, and I don't have too much of that because I'm just so blessed. I'm grateful for everything I do have. You know.
Yeah, of course.
I don't have time. You know, but.
But I'm just wondering if you're at home and said you heard somebody's voice. I'm gonna try to do that voice, and you go, "Damn it, I can't quite get it." I was just curious.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I've never. Everybody and their dog does Ed Sullivan, but I do a terrible Ed Sullivan. And like all the normal ones that everybody else does,
Right?
Yeah.
You know, I kind of stink at those.
Well,
But that's all right.
There you go.
know.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there's some that like Trump or Schwarzenegger. There are people that people imitate all the
Yeah.
time, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And anytime there's somebody that that everybody does, it's like why bother?
And it's,
Like Christopher Walken. And
I was
William
just gonna
Shatner.
say.
That's
I'm
fine.
just gonna mention it. Jim just said
It-
everybody has a version of it,
Yeah.
and very few do it good. Very few do it good.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you
Which
ever-
one, Walken or Shatner? Both?
Walking.
Yeah,
Walking.
either
Everyone
Shatner
does
too.
Walken.
Shatner
You know,
too.
you know,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, because everyone talks about what he did. Eddie always tells the story, and I'm laughing because I can't do walking good, but he tells the story when he was doing Saturday Night Live, and he was a guest host. Eddie was the host,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Eddie was the host of Eddie was the host of Saturday Night Live. And they were talking about how Christopher Walken was there like the week before, 2 weeks before Eddie was there, and they were talking about Christopher Walken, because I guess they have a big table read at the beginning, right? And Walken,
Yeah.
and they ask you, they ask Ed, do you have any questions? And they go, "Do you have any suggestions?" You go, no, everything seems good. They go, because like Christopher Walken had suggestions, and they were doing it, and they said,
Yeah.
"Chris, do you have any suggestions?" And he said, "Yeah, bears are funny." They said, "Excuse me?"
Oh God.
He said, "Yeah, bears are funny." Chris, what are you
Oh
talking about?
God, what the hell?
Bears
Oh,
are
there you
funny. He said, bears are funny. Therefore, bear suits are funny. And I go, well, where the fuck's he going with this? And
Yeah,
so,
right.
and so,
Right.
yeah, and so I could do bears are funny. I could do that. Is that
pretty
my
good.
best? That's
Yeah,
my
there you go.
best.
That's funny.
That's my best Christopher Walken. Bears are funny. Because
You know-
therefore, bear suits.
Ray, it's funny that you bring that up because I had this watch up
This
my ass
glass.
for 5 years.
I love that. There was a friend of mine. It's funny you say. I have a friend of mine. Remember when we've had dinner, lunch at Il Forno? You've been there with me. We've had lunch
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
There's this young kid. He's been wanting to do a voice. He does voices. He wants to be a voice actor so bad. And he always, like, I don't know if he auditions or whatever, but he does imitates, and he does that scene verbatim, word for word. He does the best Chris
bet he
Walken.
does.
He does the best Chris Walken I've ever heard. But, and he does
That's
other
funny.
voices. And he does, a couple other from cartoons, character. And I always said, man, if he could get a shot, 'cause you don't know, but I mean, there's people like that. But you just hear him, you're at the restaurant, and you hear him, you go, this kid needs a shot. Because he does, his voice, the ones he does very, very well, But he does Chris
Right.
Walken. If you close your eyes, you say, that's Chris Walken. And he does that scene, he does it verbatim. This watch was up your
Yeah.
Your father, this watch up his ass. I mean,
I know, real intense.
oh, man. Chris,
So intense.
Is
It's
there
so funny.
Is there anybody out there you do like now, like this Frank Caliendo or any of these guys? And obviously
well,
they
they
don't
do
cartoons.
well. They do well, but I don't know. It's not quite
Is there
what they
anyone,
do.
Jim, that you like or that you respect in the business?
Oh, well, heck yeah. I mean, I respect them all. If you're out there doing your thing and making a living, then you're
That's right.
doing it,
That's right. That's right.
I always, that's the way I feel about it. I tell that my nieces, nephews, my kids, if you make a list of stuff that you like so much, you would do it all day long for free. And
That's
then
right.
do
That's
two or
exactly
three of them so well, or one of them, that somebody will pay you. And that's your success right there.
You
And if
said
they
it.
can pay you a lot of money, that's gravy.
I remember you said that when we did the documentary. And that's a great line.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny you said that because I remember when I first went to L.A., the first thing that hit me more than anything,
Yeah.
how actors would dump on other actors. And I'd say, well,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah, well,
I say,
why
man,
bother?
I say, man, hey, why? He's doing it. At least he's doing it. He may not, like, there's a lot of guys that aren't my flavor. There's a lot of actors that are not my flavor.
Yeah.
But I admire them because they're doing it. I ain't doing it. They're doing it. Why would you dump on guys who are doing it?
Yeah.
And I hear so many actors dumping on guys go, but they're making a living. They're doing their thing. Because damn well they're going to be somebody's going to be talking about them. Why would I talk about somebody, have animosity or anger or jealousy, whatever it is? Because somebody's going to have it about me. And trust me, I've run into that in my own thing. Since when I've been,
Sure.
a lot of people in Youngstown ain't happy for me.
No.
A lot of people in Youngstown weren't happy about my success. They weren't happy. I mean, it's like I never understood it. And these were other fighters. And I'm thinking, there was no fighter from Youngstown that turned pro for years.
Yeah.
For 20, almost 30 years. I did. And then I'm not saying I opened the door, but
That's right.
I helped push the door open for other fighters. And these guys got jealous. And they'd make comments. I'm thinking,
Yeah, that doesn't
why?
make sense.
Why would you be jealous of another fighter if he's successful? God bless him. I mean, why?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially
I
if you're
agree.
going-
I agree.
Oh, God, I never
I
understood
agree.
it. I never understood it.
You know,
man.
there's plenty of room on the boat. You know, I always say, you know, a rising tide raises all the boats.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Jim.
You know?
I agree with that saying more than anything. And but I heard actors talk about other
Yep.
actors. Now that my son's an actor, he said, man, I'm happy for so. And they go, well, aren't you jealous? No, why would I jealous? Because I'm happy for the guy. He's got a shot. When I get my shot, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna hit. But he knows
That's right.
because he
That's
knows
right.
that because the same people you're talking about, people are gonna be talking about me that have talked about me. So why? Oh God, it's exhausting. It's exhausting.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I agree.
and you know better.
Yeah, it's exasperating.
Jim, you know better than me, especially being in LA. Especially if these actors spend as much energy about perfecting their craft, about going out there and creating content for themselves, as if they created as much energy in that as they do about talking about other actors and having animosity or bad feelings about other actors, they'd be pretty successful. Because man, that's
right.
all they do is talk about other actors. That's Mike, believe me.
I thought
Yeah,
that.
the one
I've
thing
always
that-
got the feeling that they were
Here's the one
a
difference.
jealous group.
You know, my son was in New York all last year. He got there and he did not Broadway play, and circumstance and brought him back to LA. And he's in LA now. But I want him to go back to New York, and he said he's going to. But what I'm saying is, but one thing he said out there, he was there for a couple of months. He said, Pop, there's a real community, acting community here in New York. That's not in LA. Because you know Jim in LA. Jim, LA. I ain't telling you shit because you may be taking it from me.
Yeah.
But in New York, but in New York, I'm not right for this, but my friend Leo is, or my friend Mike is.
Yeah.
You know, it's a community.
That's
Help
true.
each other, man. But LA, oh, hell no. I ain't telling nobody nothing because, God forbid, you take it from me.
7,000 waiters that want the
So,
same.
you know, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah.
It's a real community, man. And I'm sure, and even in your part of the business, it can't be a large group amount of voice actors. I'm assuming.
No, we're all supporting. We're all very
I'm
supportive.
assuming you got to be, right? Hey, I may not be able to do it. I can't do this voice, or I'm not feeling good, but Jim could do it. Call Jim. Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's how I ended up in The Lion King as Ed the hyena, the laughing eye. It was me, Whoopi Goldberg, and Cheech Marin.
Marin, yeah.
And my friend Frank Welker, he was he first read for the part of Ed, the laughing crazy hyena, the lunatic one, you know, with the bug eyes. And he said, well, you know, this isn't really working for me. He says, why don't you call Jimmy Cummings? You never know. And they called me, and it worked, and it clicked. And then next thing you know, I'm singing and I wrote the fart verse in Hakuna Matata. And
Congratulations.
I ended up, I'm so proud, right? And then I ended up singing Be Prepared. So, you know, one thing leads to another, and it all comes from, you know, somebody giving you a half tip, you know. There's no room for jealousy. It doesn't,
No,
you know, it
no,
doesn't
it doesn't
get you
benefit
anywhere,
nobody.
and
No.
doesn't serve either person.
I mean, there's a lot of random actors. I tell people all the time. People always say, you know, they say to me, oh, you think you can act? Because I've done a few things. I said, you think you can act? I said, I use the old line. I don't know if I can act. I know I can act like I can act. You know, I've heard that. I love that line. You know, Jim, can I go back for a moment?
Right.
Can I go back to your fart jokes? Only because
Oh, yeah.
we were talking. I said something yesterday. I said, correct me if I said, fart jokes are funniest things. Fart jokes are always going to be funny. They're always going to be funny.
Always have been.
There's nothing better than a fart joke.
Always will
They'll
be.
funny.
That's right.
And I did it. Funny. And I was talking. Who was I talking to yesterday? I was talking to yesterday. Was it yesterday? No. I was talking today. I was talking to a friend of mine doing an interview on the phone, and I said, we were talking about. He brought up about midgets.
Yeah.
I said, oh no, today.
They don't like that word, but yes.
I said midgets are. No. It was today. This morning we had I had a meeting for the Ohio Boxing Commission, and this guy came in. The guy came in today, and he wants to start a midget boxing. He wants to put midgets on, like they have midget wrestling.
I'd watch that.
I said, midgets are funny. He said, well, you know, and a friend of mine there, or another commissioner, he said, well, Ray, you got to watch. You call little people. I said, no. Midgets call themselves midgets. They know they're little people. You don't got to say little people. They know they're little people. Midgets call themselves midgets. I said, it's like a Fellini. Jim, correct me if I'm wrong. It's like a Fellini movie.
Yeah.
Fellini always had
Yeah.
midgets in a certain, you know, and midgets are funny and everything. Midget jokes are funny. Midget wrestlers, midget boxers would be hilarious. I would watch them every time.
I saw midget strippers one time,
And Mike,
by the way.
I'm just gonna say, Mike just said midget strippers. They said to me, there's a midget strip joint somewhere in
Oh,
Akron.
there's a whole joint?
In Akron.
No, it's not a joint.
No. They
But
said
they
there's
have
midget.
come. They
No,
have
there's a
come.
club. Yeah.
Not all midgets. I would know.
Midget
Believe me,
strippers.
I would
That's
know.
got to be the
They're called
funniest thing you
the,
ever see.
the sweet petites.
I made
Just
the
so you
joke, and I said, I made the joke. I said, is that the only place they go up on somebody?
Oh, jeez. Yeah. That's a
Jim,
good joke.
Oh,
See,
no.
that's a
Jim,
good
follow
joke.
me.
That's
Follow
a
me,
good
Jim.
joke.
Follow me.
You know,
I'm trying to get
Jumbo Circus, we work with a lot of quote little people, right?
Thank you for
And,
cleaning
they've
it up.
They've got more short jokes than anybody.
That's it. They know that. I said, Jim, do you know the guy?
Here, good
guy
luck.
from Gary Freakin from Youngstown?
Frank Freakin. Right. Yeah, he went to Reyes.
Yeah, and he was out there for a while. I think he's still out there. He might have came. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Jimmy,
I ran into a guy who knew him.
yeah, Jimmy.
But I haven't met him. I haven't seen him myself.
Oh, Gary! I met Gary. We had lunch together a few times. He was always making, short, jokes.
Yeah. He drums too.
We'd play Jet. He go, Ray, let me get lunch. He put his hand in his pocket. He goes, oops. He said, I'm a little short today. He said, can you pick it up? I'm a little short today. But boom, rim shot. Nah, man, they know. Come on, man. Look, come on. Midget jokes are funny. Midgets are funny. Anything you put in midget is funny. Come on now.
You care if I ask you a real question?
You got
mind?
There you go.
Let me ask you this. It's not about little people.
Well, that's okay because I think political correctness is boring.
All right, good.
Jim, politically correct. I am not. I know. I can't politically correct. I mean, you gotta watch what you say about everything. And I said, I will not.
Yeah, well,
I
don't like to. I don't like.
No,
I don't like watching what I say about everything. If
I
it's
know,
funny, it's funny.
It is, and I'm not going to do that because I never say anything to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't do it.
Right, exactly.
I don't do it to be hurting. And the people are, come on, man. We're in a world now. Stop this bullshit. Come on, stop.
Yeah,
Certain things,
I
get
agree.
it. I get it.
You
When
know,
it's a certain thing.
everybody's too sensitive.
You know, Jim, I was working for Fox, right? You know, I'm working for Fox doing commentary, right?
Yeah.
So now,
Yeah.
and I said to them when first I couldn't say this guy Hispanic guy's name, and I said, can I just say this? Can I just say the Latin guy, the Hispanic guy? Oh, Ray, you can't say that. I go, well, what do you mean I can't say it? I say, he's the white guy, he's the black guy, he's the Hispanic guy. And Fox like, I go, no, I'm just gonna say the black guy, the brother. I can't say the brother. They go, oh, you can't say the brother. I said, okay, I'll just say the black guy or the brown guy. I said, how about the Hispanic? They go, after a while you bust their balls because they're so uptight. What were you gonna say? I said, relax, man, relax. But you can't say that. I mean, look, I said, look, are you gonna say the Caucasian guy or you call me the white guy? I mean, come on, man. Which one is it?
Right. Or the Italian
I'm the white guy, you're the black guy. I mean, get that. People fight fans understand that. Yes. The white guy, the black guy, the Hispanic guy. They got that.
It's true.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Did you ever?
Yeah, it is exhausting. I don't even play the game anymore. It's like I point him over there.
Yeah.
Did you ever run across maybe in your younger years, Jim, an actor or an actress or someone that kind of wowed you, like, oh my God, I'm standing next to so and so, or someone that was a complete a-hole to you, or anything like that? Did you remember?
Well, so far so good. I haven't met too many a-holes.
Good.
But the one that probably knocked me out was I met Elton John several times. I've sung a couple of his songs, and I was in the movie The Road to El Dorado, and he wrote it and produced it, and then the movie Romeo and Juliet, which with James McAvoy and Emily Blunt, it was animated. I was the only American in it, and I guess his husband or wife, David. I forget the
partner. Husband. Politically correct. He's a man. He's his husband. His husband and husband. Get that shite right.
There you
Get
go.
that shite right, baby.
But they were great guys, and it was I was definitely a little starstruck there.
Oh yeah. I met Elton. I got a chance to meet Elton one time because I got to be friends with Bernie Taupin first, and then Bernie. And Bernie introduced me to Elton. And, I mean, that's a star. He's a star. You're right.
Oh yeah. He's one of the big kids. I'm going back to New Orleans to see him on June.
Well, you talk about New Orleans. Now it's just last year we did a fight at Biloxi at the Beau Rivage. So of course we drove. So we drove down. We drove to. They said to me, guys from Fox, our security. Hey man, we're going down to New Orleans. You want to take a ride? I said, yeah, let's go down. Because I actually fought in Biloxi in 1978. I was an amateur. I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
When we went for the day off, we went down to New Orleans, and I never saw a city like that. Of course, I was 1978. So we went down there last year, right? And I never went there. What was the joint? What's the joint? Two things I went. The joint with the beignets. That's very famous. Cafe.
Dumont.
Cafe
Dumont. Cafe Dumont.
Right.
Dumont, right.
It's right in the park.
Cafe Dumont. Yeah.
Right. It was a great joint we had there with the beignets out of this world, But what was the joint? We went to a bar. It was the oldest bar
in the history of
the living.
Lafitte's.
Yeah,
Lafitte's, right. I was at Lafitte's, and I said, "What a great joint!" You can imagine. And I'm a big history guy, and I'm just standing there going, "Man, can you imagine like 100 years ago, somebody sitting there where I'm standing now, and you go into a place, it was barely hit my head. I'm a little guy, and I almost hit my head walking into the joint.
Right.
But it was a great
It's a place where pirates went.
Pirates
like
went,
real
exactly.
pirates
Real
were the
pirates,
same
that's
place as you.
And that was, and
I
I said, man, I just love that stuff. But New Orleans got such great history, and also known as what, Jim? What are they also known as? The most haunted city, most haunted city in the country. Right.
Right. A lot of ghost tours.
I agree with that. When I was a kid, I moved there, and I was reading Exorcist in my house over in Algiers Point, and the house was built in like 1799. And I could have sworn there were ghosts all around me at that point. I'll tell you that right now. that was a heck of a place to read The Exorcist
Oh,
in a haunted house.
That
And I
place is-
guarantee you it was haunted.
Oh.
Jim, I can't thank you enough, man. I don't want to keep you. I mean, we went,
Yeah.
that hour flew, man.
Very cool.
No, I mean, I can't thank you enough. You took my last minute thing, and I apologize. I want to have you back at a later time, but we'll give you plenty of notice. I won't keep calling you
Okay, sounds
at
good.
like 9 in the morning. Jim,
Sounds
can you
good, Ray.
But man, you were
Well,
wonderful.
that's great. It was a lot of fun.
Thank
no
you.
problem.
Now, anything to look
My
out for?
pleasure.
Anything to look out for that you're coming up on, or just what we talked about?
Well, Curious George is still going,
Right.
and you got to tell everybody if they make it out to Disneyland, Disney World, to stop by Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. My boy Hondo Onaka, he's got an attraction there that will knock your socks off. It's called Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, and I basically steal the Millennium Falcon, Han Solo's ship. It's like King Arthur's sword, Excalibur.
Yep.
I get to steal it about 40 times an hour, and go around the galaxy, and it will knock you out. It is like nothing you've ever seen before. You're basically in the cockpit with Han Solo, where Han Solo was with Luke Skywalker, and you got the same guns, you've got the same engines, you've got the same warp, light speed, and it will knock your socks off. And it just opened this past fall, and it's going to be there forever. So go and enjoy.
Jim, this is maybe a stupid question, but I'm just curious, and it's none of my business, and I apologize if I moved something. Do you get residuals for that?
For that, no.
I was
that's
going to say, I
the price.
didn't know, because I say, man,
So you got to get your money up front.
right.
And you're Hondo? You're Hondo on that?
Yes.
You're the guy that
Hondo
sold the
Onaka.
ship. You sold the ship.
I'm gonna knock it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you have Disney World, right down in Disney World or
In
Walt
Florida.
Disney,
It's the
Walt
one in
Disney World in Florida
Both.
or Disneyland?
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
Both. There you go.
Hey, what if
yeah.
some of your friends from Youngstown are listening? Are you coming home anytime soon?
Boy, I don't have anything on the books, but I'm usually,
That generally means
I've been known to
no.
pop up at Canfield Fair every now and then.
That's what I wanted to hear. All right, good.
But that means no, not ask.
No.
But if you ask Eddie, ask Eddie O'Neill.
Yeah, not in the wintertime.
That's what he said.
We're almost done. We're almost through.
Hey, Jim.
There you go.
Hey, Jim.
All right.
Yeah, man. You were
Thank you.
terrific. Thank you so much. And,
All right, guys.
I appreciate all the voices, all the people I talked to today.
Okay.
Thank you so
Listen,
much.
that's right, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
We'll keep the faith. God bless you.
Can you say goodbye in a really cool voice? Tasmanian Devil voice or something?
I say bye-bye, boom, boom.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. I appreciate it. God bless you, my brother. God bless.
See you guys.
Take care.
take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, you're a little forward. Ask him to do that at the end.
That's what. That's why he's on. He loves it.
That's beautiful.
How nice.
How about
How
that?
nice.
Jim's a great guy. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this.
That was one of the
man.
most interesting things I've ever done in an interview.
Just you asked a lot of good questions, very good questions.
Okay.
That's your forte. And but I love to me. How many times do you think? How many times you down here people say, put him up, put him up.
Oh, it's the same thing. Tell a joke, funny guy.
Yeah, or right.
Yeah, or
ask him to do a
do
voice.
your Tasmanian
But
Devil.
look, but he's got a gift, man.
Yeah.
Believe me, voice actors, it's a gift because you could always do that. You always work. But the residuals, that's why I said, I don't mean because every time it's heard. You don't have to be seen. Every time it's heard.
Crazy.
God bless him. That's one thing about acting.
Good for him.
You
Good for him.
yeah, people, a lot of actors when they're not working for years, they love all the residuals.
Mhm.
That's why. Anyhow, well,
Let's thank the Speakeasy.
yeah,
for
oh,
letting us come in.
absolutely, yes. Thank you. I would be remiss if we didn't thank all the people here, the wonderful people from the Speakeasy in downtown Warren,
Mhm. It's right here on Park Avenue. I
Park
think it's called
Avenue,
Park Avenue.
North Park Avenue, 136, I believe.
It's right next to the Best Western.
One door 136
Mhm.
North Park Avenue,
Really
downtown
cool
Warren.
place, isn't it?
I love this place.
I've not been.
It's a real
I've
Speakeasy.
heard about it.
We walked in. When I walked in, you weren't here. They had a gentleman playing the guitar.
Oh,
It
that's cool.
It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's number 5 people here.
That's cool.
And he's playing guitar. He's playing for the love of this music. He just loves to come and play. She told me. The young lady who owns it.
Check it out. Check it out.
Come downtown Warren. I'll tell you what, I wish I didn't know so far, but I will make sure me and my bride will come here on a weekend just to hang out here because lovely people. My man Drop Dead Fred got it for us.
Great.
Family, friends.
Great.
And so, anyhow.
Want to do tell them about your speaker series?
Yes, thank
Before
you.
we go?
My man. He's just feed me.
That's what I do.
Anybody sees online on the Facebook, my Facebook page, my foundation, Ray Boom Mancini Foundation, we started a speaker series where we're going to bring in interesting people, deep people from outside the box. We're going to try to do like 3, maybe possibly 4 times a year. Our first one, we moved it from February to March now. We had to,
Oh, okay.
because
That's
we
what I
thank God
thought.
with the time frame and the people. We did March 18th.
Oh, I knew you'd say
March
that. I
18th.
knew you'd
What,
say that.
downtown?
I won't be here. Out of town. I knew you'd do
I
it
was
right
there.
by St. Patrick's Day. I knew you'd do it right by
March
St. Patrick's
18th. I didn't think that. We just had to push it back. Well, that was when he was available.
I
We
know,
had to
we
go
gotta go with it.
March 18th, Wednesday night at the Dior Center, down the old,
Powers
Powers
up
Auditorium
in there, yeah.
downtown, the old original Warner Brothers Theater, Powers Auditorium, which is now the Dior Center, or Ford Recital.
Right there on Federal.
We do it.
By the bus
We have 600 seats. We're doing for people who we have packages. We have for sponsors, $2,500 sponsorship gets you title. I would announce you several times during the night. Plus, you get 10 tickets for whoever you would like to bring. You get, like I said, sponsorship title. It'll be all over, placed everywhere. Or it's $100 a couple or $60 a person. But that gives you food. We'll have many stations. And Jeff Crystal is the chef. If anyone knows about Jeff Crystal Catering, one of the best chefs in the area.
Right.
Several food stations. Meet and greet with Michael beforehand. Michael Francese was a former capo regime of the Colombo crime family, 105 families in New York. He was the youngest capo regime ever in the history of organized crime at 24 years old. And he did what everyone said you could never do. He walked away from the mob. He was put in jail. Was 8 years in jail. He found Christ. He born again in Christ. He found God. His relationship with God. Now he travels the country speaking about the transformation he had. But he talks about sit down with John Gotti. He talks about the sit downs he had with several mobsters, the police, the FBI, corporation. I mean, Michael is on the top. He made more money for any single family. He made more money for any single family since Al Capone.
And it wasn't the biggest family.
It wasn't big. It was actually the smallest.
He was one of the youngest guys.
And it was the youngest. And his father, who's still alive, was like Sonny Francese, is 103 years old. 103, and the oldest living organized crime figure ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. But Michael travels the country speaking now about his time as a mob boss. Talks about his family now, what he's doing, how he walked away from the mob, and what he's doing now. And it's just unbelievable. He's just unbelievably successful. That's the type of people I want people outside the box. People, that just believe me. Believe me when I tell you. Get your tickets now. Only 600 seats, $60 a person, 100 a couple, with all the food and meet and greet and all that. The story you got to hear is because, believe me when I tell you, it's not also entertaining. It's entertaining, educational. It's one of the wild moments. Sometimes, stranger than fiction, but more than anything, it's life altering. Believe me that you come out, your life will be changed by listening to his stories.
Well, it's once in a lifetime. When are you ever going to meet somebody in the mafia that wants to tell you about the mafia?
And tell you about
right?
it. And can't.
And he doesn't walk.
He doesn't walk. He travel with bodyguards because he says, I love the opening line, and I'm on top right now. He walks out and he tells everybody, I know you're expecting to meet the Godfather, but I'm here to talk to you about God the Father.
There you go.
It's a great line. It's the truth. But he talks about story. Michael's a street guy still. He's a street guy who's found God, speaks on God, and he's one of the best warriors for Christ, Christianity. But he's just a real warrior for God. But you hear his story. It's life altering and entertaining, and it's so interesting, and you can't. You don't want him to stop talking, and you get a chance to meet and greet and all that stuff, pictures taken with him and everything. So again, for tickets, go down, call. You have to call. We have nothing to do with tickets. That's the best thing about it. So friends of mine call me. No. Call down. Them. You got to call the Ford Recital downtown, downtown Youngstown, Ford Recital, and get your tickets there online. And believe me. If you'd like to be a sponsor, contact. Tell them you'd like to be a sponsor. They'll contact us. We'll get in touch with you. A sponsor of any type, or either way. March 18th for result downtown Youngstown. I can't wait. It's gonna be such a great night. I wish you could be the one.
I was excited.
I'm excited, man.
That's okay.
I screwed it up for you.
Why
will you be there?
St. Patrick's Day, a little holiday for me.
It's a what?
Little holiday for me.
Why don't you take
We're going to no, take my friends.
Oh,
we're going to this year, we're going to Vegas.
Only friends, but you and it's fun. Be drunk.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not the
fine.
action. It's not the action. Oh, that's
I
fine.
mean, that's classy.
Classy,
Yeah.
but okay, that's not
All
bad.
right, we're doing it for
Oh,
okay.
Next
speaker.
Please, we'll do it again. Yes, we'll try to do it. So please get your tickets for Speakeasy Lounge on my Facebook page.
Didn't he come in that Tuesday and didn't take us out?
Well, the show one day is coming in on a Tuesday.
Yeah, we
So we get that Wednesday afternoon. We do the show. Give me that afternoon, gentlemen, from the hotel.
Or even Tuesday, if he comes in there.
Until next time, if you like Joe, please tell your friends. Hit us up on Facebook or any of our pages. Our Facebook page, Rainbow Mancini, Raise Boom Boom Room. Raise Boom Boom Room. Hit us up, let us know what you think. And any ideas, we're always open to hearing about them. Again, here from Speakeasy, downtown Ward, beautiful downtown Ward, beautiful Speakeasy. Thank you, can't thank them enough for allowing us to be here. Until next time, hopefully next week we'll be back. Until then, take care of each other, love each other, good night, and God bless.